The hall of the Galactic Council was silent, too silent for what was about to happen. Representatives from hundreds of star systems filled the great chamber, their forms strange and varied, tall, short, many-limbed, some glowing with inner energy. All eyes were on Earth's envoy, a human named Commander Elias Harper. He stood calmly, hands clasped behind his back, looking every bit the human leader the galaxy had feared and underestimated. For centuries, Earth had been a member of the Galactic Council. Humans had been seen as curious, sometimes reckless, and often underestimated. Aliens often spoke of humans as clever but small and weak, a species that could be ignored in galactic politics. But humans had grown, faster than any species had expected. And now humanity had made a decision that no one had anticipated. Honored members of the Council, Elias began, his voice clear and steady. After careful consideration, Earth has chosen to withdraw from the Galactic Council, effective immediately. A murmur spread through the hall. The council members exchanged confused glances. Some gasped, others simply stared, not believing what they had heard. "Withdraw," a tall, insectoid delegate hissed. Its wings shimmered with annoyance. "Do you understand the consequences? You will be isolated. You will be left to your own devices. Surely this is a mistake." Elias remained calm. "It is not a mistake. Earth has watched the Council for centuries. We have listened, we have learned, and we have chosen our own path. This is our decision, and it is final." The room erupted into chaos. Voices shouted, arguments broke out, and holographic displays flickered as delegates attempted to contact their home systems. Some threatened sanctions, others offered persuasion. But Elias Harper did not flinch. He had anticipated this reaction. Back on Earth, the world was calm. Life went on as usual for most humans, unaware of the monumental shift taking place in the stars. But in secret, the leaders of Earth had been preparing for this moment for decades. While humans outwardly followed Council rules, in hidden laboratories and orbital facilities, they had built something the galaxy could not yet imagine. The first scouts of the Council had been monitoring Earth for centuries, but they had no idea of the true scale of human ingenuity. Every major technology, every breakthrough, every starship in Earth's secret fleets had been carefully hidden. And now, with the decision to leave the Council, humanity was ready to reveal its power. In the Council chamber, the alien delegates could not understand. "Why leave?" asked a reptilian elder, its eyes glowing faintly. "You are one of the youngest species here. You have much to learn." Elias' gaze swept across the room. "We have learned enough, and now it is time to act on what we know. You may call this arrogance or foolishness, but we call it preparation." The words were calm, but the weight behind them made several delegates pause. Earth had always been underestimated, and now, it seemed, the galaxy was about to find out why that was a mistake. Far above Earth, in the hidden reaches of the solar system, massive starship construction facilities glowed like distant suns. Humans moved with precision, guided by artificial intelligence and decades of careful planning. Hundreds of thousands of engineers and scientists worked tirelessly, building ships that could rival the largest vessels of the Council. These were no ordinary ships. Their hulls gleamed with materials stronger than any metal known to the galaxy. Their engines were powered by energy sources so advanced that even Council scientists could not have predicted them. Every ship was a marvel of human innovation, a testament to the creativity and determination of a species that refused to be small. And they were all hidden, shielded from alien sensors, waiting for the moment to emerge. Back in the Council, panic began to spread. The news of Earth's withdrawal had reached every system. Communications flooded in. Delegates argued, demanded explanations, and some even threatened to take military action. But the Council had long learned that humans were not easy to intimidate. They were unpredictable, clever, and willing to take risks that other species would never consider. "Humans are reckless," one elder whispered, "perhaps too reckless to survive on their own." But Elias Harper knew otherwise. He had seen what humans could do. He had seen how they could unite, how they could innovate, how they could take impossible situations and turn them into opportunities. And he knew the galaxy had no idea what humanity was capable of. On Earth, the people were unaware of the tension in the stars. Cities thrived, technology advanced, and life continued. But for the leaders of Earth, every day was a countdown. The fleet was nearly ready. Every ship had been tested, every system perfected. Soon, humans would step out of the shadows and into the light, showing the galaxy that Earth was no longer a planet to be underestimated. A small alien scouting vessel was the first to detect the energy signatures of Earth's hidden fleet. It had been sent by a council member suspicious of Earth's activities, but even it could not have anticipated what it saw. The readings were enormous, unlike anything recorded before. Massive power sources, advanced engines, and hundreds of vessels moving in formation, all hidden from standard sensors until now. The scout transmitted its findings to the council. "It is Earth," the alien reported. "They are building something, something enormous." The council erupted into chaos. "Impossible," shouted one elder. "We monitored them for centuries. How could they hide this?" Elias Harper's voice echoed calmly through the council's communications. "You should not be surprised. You never understood us. You never believed we could achieve what we have. But now you will see." On the day of departure, humans prepared their ships in secret. Each vessel gleamed under artificial sunlight in orbital shipyards. Engineers conducted final checks, and pilots ran simulations. The fleet, thousands strong, was ready to leave its hidden sanctuary. For most humans on Earth, life went on normally. But in the command centers and shipyards, the leaders of Earth watched monitors carefully. Every alien reaction, every council communication was tracked. Humans were ready not for war, but for something equally powerful, a demonstration of ingenuity, unity, and the unyielding spirit of humanity. Then, with a final command, the hidden fleet activated. Engines ignited, energy fields shimmered, and the massive vessels slowly moved into formation. Cloaking fields disengaged, revealing their presence to the galaxy for the first time. The stars around them seemed to glow brighter as thousands of human-made ships moved as one. The council could only stare, stunned. "They have fleets," one alien whispered. "How could they have built this without detection?" Elias Harper's message came across the council's communications channels. "We leave the council not out of anger or malice. We leave because we are ready to take our place in the galaxy as equals, not subjects. Observe our path and judge us by what we have achieved, not what you expected." As the fleet moved away from Earth, it left behind a galaxy buzzing with questions. What did humanity plan to do? Were they preparing for conflict? Or was this a show, a test of strategy and intelligence? For humans, the answer was simple. This was the beginning. The beginning of a new chapter, where the galaxy would see Earth not as a minor player, but as a species capable of shaping its own destiny. And somewhere in the council chambers, a small voice of doubt whispered, perhaps humans had always been underestimated. Perhaps it was time to take them seriously. The stars waited. The galaxy held its breath, and Earth moved forward silently, confidently, toward the unknown future it had prepared for so long. Far beyond the eyes of the Galactic Council, in the cold void of space, the hidden human fleet moved silently. Thousands of ships, each larger than any known vessel in the galaxy, formed intricate patterns, almost as if they were alive. Engines hummed with energy that seemed impossible, power sources that no alien race had yet discovered. This was the culmination of decades of secret work, hidden from spies, censors, and even the most advanced alien minds. Earth had left the Council not out of anger but necessity. For centuries, humans had observed the politics, the alliances, and the limitations imposed by the Council. They had been underestimated at every turn. While other species relied on tradition and brute force, humans relied on creativity, ingenuity, and unity. Now, they were ready to reveal themselves, not as a minor member of the galaxy, but as a force that could not be ignored. Inside the command bridge of the largest vessel, the flagship, Aurora, Admiral Leela Chen watched the formation of her fleet. Rows of sleek battleships glinted in the distant starlight, while scout ships and carriers moved like a living organism around the core. Leela was calm, yet her mind raced with possibilities. "Admiral," said her tactical officer, "a human named Rafik, Council sensors are starting to detect us. They've never seen anything like this." Leela nodded. "Let them see, we are not hiding anymore. Let them witness what humans can do when we are united and unafraid." Her voice carried a quiet confidence, one that had been trained through years of rigorous preparation. Every officer on the bridge understood that this mission was more than a show of power. It was a message. Humanity had grown, and it would not be dismissed. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, the Council scrambled to understand what was happening. Reports poured in from scout vessels, communication arrays, and monitoring satellites. "They are enormous," one alien delegate said in disbelief, its voice trembling. Its multiple eyes scanned the displays, each showing the movement of the human fleet. "They have built thousands of ships secretly." "Yes," another replied. "Every major council system has been blind to it. No sensors detected these construction facilities. No intelligence found them. How is this possible?" Unknown to them, humans had used decades of misdirection, hiding entire construction stations behind energy fields, in asteroid clusters, and in distant orbit beyond the reach of alien technology. While the Council had believed Earth was limited to its few visible fleets, humanity had been building an entire armada in secret. Back on Aurora, Leela gave the command that would define the next stage of humanity's return. "Engage coordinated maneuvers. Let's show the galaxy the precision and speed of a human fleet." The ships responded instantly. They moved in patterns that seemed almost impossible, weaving around one another without collision. Ships changed formation fluidly, creating shapes in space, circles, lines, waves, displaying an elegance and control that stunned even human observers. "Commander," said Rafik, "these formations, they are perfect. Even our simulations couldn't match this." Leela smiled. "Perfection is a human trait when we work together. Watch and remember that this is only the beginning." In another part of the galaxy, a Council warship intercepted a transmission from a human scout. The message was simple but shocking. "You are observing the fleet of Earth. Prepare your minds for what you cannot yet comprehend. We come neither to attack nor to bow. We come to be seen as equals." The Council delegates were outraged. How dare humans speak in such terms? They had left the Council, yes, but to announce themselves in this way, so boldly, was unheard of. "They must be bluffing," hissed one elder, its scales rippling with anger. "There is no way a species like that can command such forces." But the reports continued. Scout after scout returned with the same information. A massive fleet, engines blazing, systems advanced beyond anything known. Humans were not only present, they were prepared. Back in the fleet, humans did not seek confrontation. Instead, they demonstrated their strength in ways that were clever and strategic, not violent. Small drones moved between ships, creating holographic simulations of tactics. The fleet navigated asteroid fields, moving in and out of tight spaces without a single collision. "We're showing them coordination, intelligence, and precision," explained Leela to her officers. "Not aggression. They must understand humans are capable of more than war. We are capable of strategy, creativity, and unity." The fleet moved toward the edge of the Council's monitored space, careful to stay within sensor range but out of direct threat. They wanted the Council to observe, to learn, and to recognize that humans were not a species to be dismissed. On Earth, in underground command centers, leaders watched through long-range sensors. Nations, corporations, and scientific organizations, once separated by borders, worked together seamlessly, guiding the fleet and coordinating every movement. It was a reminder that humans could unite when they chose to. "Imagine if every species in the Council could do this," said Dr. Amara Singh, one of Earth's leading strategists. "They would be unstoppable. But no, humans did this alone." Her words were quiet, yet powerful. The truth was undeniable. Humans had taken what others saw as limitations and turned them into strength. While other species relied on brute force, humans relied on creativity and coordination. This was their true weapon, one that the Council had yet to understand. Meanwhile, the Council debated. Some advocated immediate military action, fearing the human fleet. Others urged caution, worried that any attack could provoke an unpredictable response. One elder, ancient and wise, spoke quietly to the assembly. "They are testing us. Not with weapons, but with strategy. Observe their movements. Learn from them before you act." The room fell silent. For the first time, the Council admitted uncertainty. Humans had become something more than they expected. Not just a fledgling species, but a force of intellect, unity, and innovation. As the fleet continued its demonstration, humans began to communicate directly with the Council. Messages appeared across communication networks, clear and unaltered by alien translators. "We have left the Council not to threaten but to prepare. Observe us, learn from us, and recognize that humans will no longer be underestimated. We do not seek conquest. We seek respect. We seek equality." The words spread like wildfire. Across star systems, species debated what to do. Some feared humans, some admired them, but all could not ignore them. Earth had returned, and it had returned on its own terms. The human fleet did not stop at observation. It moved further into the void, showing what humans could do with speed, precision, and innovation. Ships executed complex maneuvers, creating patterns that could confuse the most advanced alien sensors. Drones simulated attacks, only to vanish into hyperspace, leaving observers bewildered. "Humans fight differently," one Council delegate admitted. "Not with aggression, but with intelligence. They are unpredictable, yet coordinated." How can a species do this without centuries of experience? On Aurora, Admiral Leela watched with satisfaction. "This is only the beginning. We are showing them that humans are capable of thinking beyond limits, of imagining possibilities they cannot even conceive." At the same time, smaller human vessels began exploring uncharted systems near the Council's borders. They mapped stars, moons, and asteroid belts, leaving behind data that would astonish any alien observer. Humans had prepared for centuries, and now their work was finally visible to the galaxy. "This is the true power of humanity," Leela said quietly to her officers. "Not weapons, not armies, but ingenuity, unity, the ability to take challenges and turn them into opportunities." As Part 2 draws to a close, the Council is left in awe and fear. Earth has returned, but not as a minor planet or a fledgling species. Humans are a force to be reckoned with, intelligent, creative, and united. The galaxy now knows humanity is no longer to be underestimated. And somewhere in the void, Admiral Leela Chen looks toward the stars and whispers, "We are just getting started." But the fleet was not idle. Every maneuver, every shift, every signal sent was deliberate. Humanity was about to teach the galaxy a lesson it would never forget, not with brute force, but with strategy, intelligence, and unity. On the bridge of the flagship Aurora, Admiral Leela Chen studied the Council's reaction. Monitors displayed countless alien vessels in tentative positions, observing the human fleet with caution. Messages flooded in from scout ships, confirming that the Council's entire surveillance network was active. Humans had anticipated every reaction. "Admiral," said Commander Rafik, "the Council is moving warships toward us. They are curious but cautious. They have never seen anything like this." Leela nodded, her eyes calm. "Good, let them approach. But remember, we are not here to attack. We are here to demonstrate human ingenuity. Everything they see should remind them why they underestimated us at their own peril." The first alien vessels appeared, a small squadron of sleek, council-made ships gliding cautiously through the void. They observed the human fleet from a distance, hesitant to come closer. Their weapons systems were active, but none dared to fire. From the Aurora, Leela initiated the first demonstration. "Deploy the drones," she ordered. Thousands of tiny drones scattered from the fleet, forming complex holographic simulations in space. They recreated battle formations, evasive maneuvers, and intricate strategies. Each drone moved independently, yet the swarm acted as if guided by a single mind. The alien scouts watched in astonishment. They had never seen such coordination. Every move was unpredictable yet perfectly synchronized. Every pattern was clever, fluid, and impossible to anticipate. This is not a war fleet," one alien officer whispered over communication channels. "This is art, intelligence." Leela smiled quietly. "Exactly." Next, humans demonstrated rapid response maneuvers that no alien fleet could match. Small strike ships zipped between asteroids, changing course instantaneously. Carriers adjusted positions, and drones created temporary holographic obstructions, confusing the alien sensors further. The aliens tried to track each ship, but every time they predicted a path, the fleet shifted. Humans were not fighting with weapons. They were fighting with creativity, coordination, and unpredictability. Every move challenged the Council's assumptions about space combat, strategy, and intelligence. "Every species relies on brute strength," Leela explained to her officers. "Humans rely on thinking, planning, and imagination. Observe, learn, outthink." Even the officers marveled. No simulation, no training exercise had prepared them for the perfect execution of thousands of ships moving as one, yet acting independently. Meanwhile, the council was in chaos. Delegates argued heatedly. Some urged immediate strikes, fearing human cunning. Others hesitated, unsure how to respond to an enemy that did not attack, yet outmaneuvered them in every sense. One elder, ancient and wise, addressed the assembly. "They are not attacking," it said. "They are testing us, not with weapons but with strategy. Observe their intelligence. They challenge our assumptions. They challenge us to think beyond our limits." The room fell silent. For the first time, humans had caused genuine uncertainty among the council. They were unpredictable, brilliant, unified, and completely human. The humans continued their demonstration. Ships executed what looked like impossible patterns, weaving through dense asteroid fields, creating formations that mimicked celestial phenomena, even dancing in space with precise timing. Each move sent a clear message. Humans were not to be underestimated. Small messages transmitted across council channels confirmed the intention. "Observe carefully. We do not attack. We do not threaten. We seek understanding, respect, and equality. Watch humans act, and you will see the potential of unity, creativity, and intelligence." Some delegates were awed, others fearful. The consensus: humans had changed everything. Then came the first human-initiated challenge. "Rafik, prepare the fleet for the simulation," Leela said. "We're going to test their ability to anticipate and adapt." The human fleet began creating a maze of holographic obstacles in space, visible to alien sensors. It appeared as though they were preparing for battle, but there were no weapons fired. The maze shifted constantly, ships moving in and out, drones creating temporary barriers, confusing sensors, and challenging the Council's understanding of strategy. The alien ships attempted to predict human movements, but every time they adjusted, the fleet shifted. Humans were not fighting, they were teaching. Every maneuver displayed their intelligence, flexibility, and unity. A small alien squadron tried to enter the maze. It failed repeatedly, becoming trapped in holographic simulations. No harm was done, they were simply outmatched in intellect. "This is impossible," an alien officer reported. "They are everywhere but nowhere. We cannot predict them." Leela's calm voice carried over the fleet's intercom. "This is the first lesson. Humans act with creativity, intelligence, and unity. We do not need to attack to demonstrate strength. Observe, learn, and understand that underestimating us is your greatest mistake." The Council began to send observers directly into the simulations. Holographic monitors streamed images of human ships performing maneuvers that required split-second coordination. The alien delegates could not comprehend how a species so young could act with such precision. In Earth's command centers, leaders monitored the impact. Dr. Amara Singh smiled. "They are seeing it now. Every species that observes will understand why humans are not to be dismissed. They may fear us, but they will respect us." Admiral Leela Chen watched quietly as the final stage of the test began. Human ships began a coordinated formation, creating shapes visible from orbit around nearby systems, patterns of light and motion that no alien fleet could replicate. The fleet moved as one organism, yet each ship acted independently. "It's beautiful," Rafik whispered. "A living display of intelligence." "Exactly," Leela replied. "Humans are not merely builders of ships. We are thinkers, problem solvers, and innovators. Let the galaxy see it." As the simulations concluded, the Council realized the truth. Humans were not reckless as they had assumed. Humans were not weak. Humans were something far more dangerous in the minds of other species, intelligent, united, and capable of seeing solutions no one else could imagine. Council elders met in emergency session. "They are testing us," one said, "not to fight but to teach. We have underestimated them for centuries." "Yes," another agreed. "They are humans. They do not rely on tradition, brute strength, or rules. They rely on creativity, teamwork, and unpredictability. We cannot match them, not yet." For the first time, the Council recognized the need to approach humans differently. They had returned, not as a minor planet, but as a species capable of reshaping the galaxy's understanding of intelligence and strategy. In the fleet, humans prepared for the final stage of the demonstration. Thousands of ships moved toward a distant asteroid cluster. There, they executed an intricate series of maneuvers, weaving through the rocks and performing simultaneous simulations of attack, defense, and exploration. Alien scouts attempted to follow, but were consistently outmaneuvered. Every time they predicted a human move, the fleet shifted, creating new patterns, leaving the observers both awed and bewildered. "This is beyond anything we imagined," said a reptilian delegate. "How can they be so young, yet so perfect?" "They are human," another replied simply. Admiral Leela Chen observed all of this from the Aurora. The demonstration was complete. Humans had proven not only their intelligence but their unity, creativity, and ability to act as one while thinking independently. The Council had been tested, and they had learned a lesson they would never forget. As Part 3 ends, the message is clear. Humans do not need weapons to command respect. Their intelligence, ingenuity, and unity are enough to challenge the most advanced species in the galaxy. The Council begins to recognize that Earth's return is not a threat, it is a new standard. The stars were quiet. For a moment, the galaxy seemed to hold its breath. The human fleet, thousands strong, glowed like a constellation of fire and steel, stretching across the void. After weeks of demonstrations, simulations, and strategic maneuvers, the message was clear. Humans were not a species to be underestimated. They were clever, united, and capable of achieving the impossible. On the flagship Aurora, Admiral Leela Chen watched the edge of Council-monitored space. Alien fleets, once tense and cautious, now lingered at a distance, observing with a mixture of fear, curiosity, and awe. Humans had not fired a single weapon, yet they commanded the attention and respect of the galaxy. "Admiral," Commander Rafik said quietly, "they're waiting. The Council, they are ready to communicate directly. They want to negotiate." Leela nodded. "Then it's time. Let them see humans as equals, not as threats, not as subjects, but as partners in the galaxy." Earth's fleet slowly moved forward, leaving the hidden regions and stepping into the space monitored by the Council. The ships moved in perfect formation, engines burning brightly, showing both power and precision. This was not an invasion. This was a return. The Council prepared a formal reception. Holographic platforms formed, displaying alien delegates in their varied forms, some cautious, others still nervous. The elders, ancient and wise, held a tense discussion among themselves. Humanity had returned not with aggression but with a lesson. Intelligence, unity, and creativity were far more powerful than simple weapons. A council elder, a glowing, four-armed diplomat, finally addressed the human flagship. "Earth, you have returned. And we see what you have built. We underestimated you. It appears we were wrong." Elias Harper, Earth's envoy to the Council, responded with calm dignity. "We did not return to prove superiority. We returned to show what humans are capable of when united and determined. We seek not conquest, but equality, respect, and cooperation." The room fell silent. The Council delegates had never encountered such honesty, such confidence, and such undeniable capability. In orbit around Aurora, human engineers and pilots prepared to demonstrate one final act, a symbol of unity and intelligence. The fleet began moving in patterns visible even from distant systems, weaving an intricate tapestry of light and motion. Thousands of ships formed symbols of peace, exploration, and knowledge, a silent message to the galaxy. Humanity was here, ready to be recognized. Delegates watched, mesmerized. They had never seen anything like this. Not power alone, not brute force, but intelligence, elegance, and perfect coordination. The humans were speaking without words, showing that they could be both formidable and cooperative. This is remarkable," whispered one delegate, its voice trembling. "They are extraordinary." "Yes," another replied. "They are human." On Earth, in the underground command centers and orbital stations, leaders observed the process with pride. Scientists, engineers, pilots, and strategists had all contributed. The entire planet, without fanfare, had worked together. For centuries, humans had been underestimated. Now their achievements were impossible to ignore. Dr. Amara Singh, one of the key architects of Earth's fleet, reflected quietly. "We didn't need to fight. We only needed to think, to plan, to act together. That is the power of humanity." Her words echoed through the command center. It was a simple truth. Humans had survived and thrived not by dominating others, but by using intelligence, creativity, and unity to overcome challenges no one else could. Back on Aurora, Admiral Leela Chen prepared to deliver the final message to the Council. She activated the communication channels, her voice calm, confident, and resolute. "To the Galactic Council, humanity returns not to conquer or intimidate. We return to take our place among the stars as equals, as explorers, and as contributors to the galaxy. We do not seek war. We do not seek dominance. We seek respect, partnership, and recognition of what humans can achieve when united." The words resonated across systems. For a species often underestimated, it was the first time humans had been truly acknowledged, not for their weapons, but for their intelligence, unity, and creativity. The Council delegates responded cautiously, but with a tone of growing respect. "Earth," the glowing elder said, "your return is impressive. You have demonstrated abilities far beyond what we expected. You have reminded us that intelligence and strategy are as powerful as any weapon. We welcome you back, with conditions to be discussed in equality and fairness." Elias Harper nodded. We accept, and we hope that our presence will encourage all species to recognize the power of thought, unity, and ingenuity. The human fleet slowly descended into Council space, careful to maintain formation and display coordination. Alien fleets observed, understanding that humanity's return was not a threat. Humans had not fired a single weapon, yet they had achieved what no one else could: respect without violence. In orbit, human ships began scanning and mapping the nearby systems, leaving data for the Council to study. Every planet, moon, and asteroid surveyed was shared openly, a gesture of cooperation and transparency. Humans had demonstrated that their strength lay not in hiding or in aggression, but in exploration, intelligence, and collaboration. This is the new era, Lila Chen said softly, looking at the formations below. Humans do not conquer, we build, explore, and unite, and now the galaxy knows it. Throughout the galaxy, the reactions were varied. Some species were relieved that humans had not chosen conflict. Others were awed, even fearful, but most were simply impressed. For centuries, humans had been underestimated. Now the truth could no longer be denied. Humans were capable of thinking beyond limits, acting with unity, and achieving what no one else could. Council meetings were held to discuss the terms of Earth's return. Humans participated as equals, contributing ideas, knowledge, and insights. Their presence elevated discussions, introducing strategies, technologies, and concepts that no other species had considered. Humans had returned not only with fleets but with intellect, vision, and creativity, the true markers of power in the galaxy. The final stage of the return came with a simple act. Admiral Lila Chen ordered the fleet to form a massive circle in space, a visual display of unity and cooperation. At the center, small drones projected a holographic map of the galaxy, highlighting all known systems and showing Earth's fleet as a protective network. The symbolism was clear. Humans were no longer minor players. They were a species that acted together, thought ahead, and contributed to the galaxy's safety and progress. The Council watched in silence, then slowly, one by one, acknowledged the gesture. The message was received. Humans had returned not to dominate, not to intimidate, but to demonstrate the true strength of unity, intelligence, and creativity. Elias Harper addressed the Council one final time. We have returned. We have shown you what humans can do. Respect is earned, not given. And we hope that from this day forward the galaxy will remember, humans are not to be underestimated. Back on Earth, citizens watched news transmissions from the fleet. Children stared in wonder at images of thousands of ships in perfect formation. Scientists celebrated decades of work. Leaders reflected on centuries of careful planning and patience. For humanity, the return to the galaxy was not about glory or conquest. It was about recognition, cooperation, and the power of unity. Dr. Singh smiled as she watched the fleet on her monitor. We did not need to destroy. We did not need to fight. All we needed was intelligence, creativity, and collaboration. That is human strength. The fleet slowly began returning to orbit around Earth, but the impact had been made. Across the galaxy, species began to treat humanity differently. Humans were no longer underestimated. Humans were not reckless, weak, or irrelevant. They were a species to be respected, studied, and when possible, collaborated with. Admiral Lila Chen looked at the glowing ships around her. This is only the beginning, she said quietly. We have returned. The galaxy has seen what humans can do. And now we move forward not with fear but with hope, intelligence, and unity. Somewhere far away, a council elder reflected on the events. They have returned, and they have changed everything. Humans are not to be underestimated. They never have been. They are extraordinary. And so, humanity's return to the Galactic Council marked a new era. An era where intelligence, unity, and creativity were recognized as the true markers of strength. The galaxy would never forget the day Earth left, and the day it returned, with thousands of burning warships and an unbreakable human spirit. The stars waited, the galaxy watched, and humans, calm and united, stepped boldly into their place among the stars.